Hey, what's up guys? Jay here. Welcome back to this SEO course. So in this course, in this specific video, I'm going to show you it's how to do keyword research for existing pages. So if you already have a website and you already have a website for quite a while, chances are your page is showing up on Google for relevant search terms. And this process is really easy for you to find, number one, quick wins, where you can straight away go in and do some optimization because Google has already looked at your website and look at your pages and decided that this page is whether they are relevant for something or not. So that's first. Second of all, it also allows your website to be more, your web pages to be more optimized because you already have data to work with. So this process is for people that already has a website and has a website for quite a while. So I'm going to show you two methods, and I'm going to go into detail about the method that I use all the time. So the first method will be kind of the free method where you don't have to pay any tools for it, and you can just basically use the keyword research tools that I mentioned in my previous video. So if you have not checked that out, and that is the fundamentals and foundation. So I will highly recommend you to check that out first before you dive into this video. So as you can see, I'm currently on my Google Search Console, which is the tool that we'll be using. So if you already have a website and if you already have Google Search Console set up, you're going to have some data on about your website. So the main reason why we want to do keyword research for existing, we want to do keyword research for existing pages. It's because, like I mentioned again, there is usually low-hanging fruits where you can target, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you go into your Google Search Console, what you need to do is you need to go into, you can select how many months, right? So I can select for like the last 12 months, and what's going to do is it's going to show you some of the data that your website already has, and you're going to go down to this query page, okay? And these are essentially what keywords are relevant to your website right now. So you can see all these are the queries. So now what I want to look for is does this query make sense? Okay, and if this query it's does this query have a search demand? So what you can do is you can head over, so you can copy all these queries down, okay, and you can head over to any keyword research tool of your choice. And if you are using this method, chances are you'll be using free keyword research tools. So you can go into those free keyword research tools and then plug these keywords in there to see whether if there is any demand or not. Now, one thing that you can do is you can then go into your pages section, and you can see these are all the pages that have, you can sort this by impressions or clicks, but you can see all these pages are the pages that is currently getting a lot of impressions or clicks, right? And what you want to do is you want to then look at this specific page only, because within a keyword research for existing pages, what we are trying to do is we're trying to first of all find a specific keyword that we can target, and then we want to map it to this page that we have, right? Because this way it's more hyper focused for this specific keyword for that specific page. And then this will also trickle down into the next phase, which is on-page optimization, because whatever that we'll be doing will be specifically trying to rank for that variation of keyword. So that's why we want to look at on a page level, on every single individual page, what that specific page is what keywords we want to map to that specific page. So for example, I'm just going to open up here Global SEO Services, and what this does is this gives me all the queries that this specific page is that it's appearing for. So what I can do now, so you can see all these are the impressions that Google thinks it's relevant for this specific page that I have. So what you can do is you can then copy all of the queries down, okay, and then you can plug all of this into the keyword research tool of your choice to see which ones have the most search volume, and also maps to the intention maps to your page, the most relevant ones, and then you can select one keyword to go after, right? So this is the free method in a way, but I'm going to show you how I do it on a daily basis, and this way it's a lot more easier in a way, because with free tools, usually the data is not very nice or not very good to look at. So I'm going to open up a completely random website. So I just found this. Again, I use fitness as an example because it's something that I can relate to. So this is just one website that I found. So what you do, it's you go and plug this website into your domain, into a keyword research tool of your choice. So ideally, you want to use a tool like Ahrefs. That's the tool that we use all the time. So what happens is when you plug in this website into the domain analyzer, right, our site explorer, right, what happens is it will show you all the keywords that this website is ranking for. So if you put your website into this site explorer, you're going to see all the keywords that your website is ranking for, okay, whether they are ranking for any keywords or not. And then the good thing about this is because they have all this database, right, it's easier for you to see what keywords you already are ranking for. Now, if you put in your website to a tool like this and you find that there's no keywords or there's very little keywords, it means to say your website doesn't have data for you to look at. So what you need to do is you then need to go on to the next stage, which is you're kind of doing keyword research from the scratch. So this entire process is only for people that has website for quite some time and Google has already picked up some relevant data about their website and figuring out what their website is about. So the next thing that we're going to look at is we're going to click into this organic keyword section, okay? And this will show us all the keywords that this page is ranking for. Now, what you want to do is you want to look at only the selected demographics that you're looking at. So in this case, because I'm only looking at the Singapore market, I'm going to filter it to Singapore. And you can see all these keywords are the keywords that is bringing in that is bringing in traffic for this website. Now, what I see over here on the first look analysis is you can see there's a lot of branded terms here. Okay, so you can see their brand is Pure Fitness. And then if your brand is around in the market for quite some time, chances are you're going to find branded searches like this, which is perfectly fine. Now, what we want to do is we want to look at non-branded searches because these are searches that you want to target. These are your new customers, people who don't know about your brand before, right? So as you can see, there's Pure Fitness Singapore, Pure Fitness Suntec. What we're going to do is we're going to exclude all the keywords for anything that is pure, right? So this will remove a lot of those branded searches. And what happens is there's still some branded searches here. You can see Pure Fitness, Pure Gym, right? So if I want to, I can go ahead and add in a lot more, but you can see now there's a lot lesser branded searches. Okay, and this will give you a look of what Google thinks your website is about already. So you can see Suntec City Gym, fitness classes, and things like that. So I'm going to pick one example over here. So you can see this URL, okay, is ranking for fitness classes. Okay, what I want to do is I want to see if this is the best keyword this page should be targeting. Because like I mentioned, the reason why we are in this phase is because whatever that we'll be doing next with regards to on-page optimization will be depending on what keywords we have selected or what keywords we have mapped this specific URL to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Okay, it's kind of the similar concept of what I showed you earlier. We are just trying to find out what are the relevant terms it's Google selecting for this page. So what we do is we copy this, and then because what Google thinks this term is, right? If Google thinks that this term is relevant for this page, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best. And this could be due to a lot of different reasons. In my previous video, I've mentioned that we look at the different kind of buyer journey, the different kind of intention behind the keyword. So just looking at this might not be the best way for you to go forward, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that the intention of the keyword matches the intention of this page. Because even if Google thinks that currently this page is showing up for this keyword, it might not necessarily be the most ideal fit. And sometimes it could also be the reason why the page doesn't go up to the first top 3 position, right? So what we want to do is we're going to copy this, okay? And we only want to look at relevant terms for this specific URL, okay? So look at from a URL level, Okay, and what this does is this gives us all the keywords that this page is ranking for. So you can see pure fitness schedule, pure fitness Singapore, which is fine, pure yoga schedule, right? Fitness classes and things like that. So again, when I usually look at this, I don't specifically look at the branded search terms. Okay, and the reason why is because with branded search terms, right, when people are looking for branded search terms, chances are they're going to find your website because they know what they are looking for. So if somebody types in pure fitness schedule, right, okay, they are going to look for, if they land on your website, they will be looking at, they will be navigating through your website to find your schedule, right? It doesn't matter whether they have to click a few more clicks to land there. So what I'm interested to find out again, it's non-branded searches. Okay, so I'm going to exclude anything with pure, and this will show me all of the keywords that this page is trying to rank to go after. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to look at the different kind of keywords here. So I'm seeing fitness classes, fitness classes in Singapore, fitness class, fitness first timetable. So immediately when you look at this, right, okay, if you know this fitness first, this is actually a brand, so this will not be relevant at all. Okay, group exercises could be relevant. Pure gym, again, this is just a branded search term. Fitness first, so you can see all those fitness first. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore all this because these are branded search terms. Okay, and sometimes your website might show up for another brand's search term, and if you don't do this kind of analysis and you map this search term to this page, then it's going to be a waste of time, because when people search for fitness first in Singapore, they are looking for that brand, right? They are not looking for, they are specifically they know what they want, and that's why searcher's intention is very important for you to understand. And if you have not watched that video, please go and check my previous video out. So there's already a few keywords here. Now I'm going to share with you a little tip of what this profile of keywords tells you in a way. So you can see if we were to filter this by position, right? Okay, and if we if we remove these site links, because site links is only appearing when somebody searches for a brand, and then there's a secondary kind of link, but it doesn't really matter. What we only want to do is want to look at, you know, the pages, the keywords that are not in site link. Okay, so you can see fitness classes, group exercises Singapore. So this way, it's kind of relevant to tell us what Google is trying to tell us, or how I usually interpret data from this. It's, if you look at the position that is going downwards, right? This is Google telling you that based off on what this page is serving them, it's the most relevant for these search terms, and then moving downwards. Okay, so this gives you an idea of what keywords will not be relevant. Okay, and you can use this as a guide, but not necessarily as a 100% rule. But if you can see, like for example, outdoor workout. Okay, so this search term, if you think about the people looking for outdoor workout, they are specifically looking for outdoor workout. And when we look at a website, okay, when we look at this page, okay, it seems like they are offering group classes, right? They are all different kind of classes here. They are Zumba, RIP circuit, okay, but they are offering all different kind of classes. So this might not be the best page for this, and that's why Google itself has already kind of identified it this way, and that's why they are, you know, not ranking on that page, not ranking higher up on that page. Now, if you move up towards this will probably be more relevant. So this is a way of how you can kind of navigate and take a look at the data overall at a glance from a top-down point of view. Now, if I were to go and analyze a little bit deeper, I can see Singapore class. This is not highly ideal, but like this kind of keywords, workout classes in Singapore, this could also be one of the main keyword that I want to select for this class, for this URL, because workout classes in Singapore, it's generally a more generic term, right? Exercise classes in Singapore is the same, and then yeah, the rest are kind of more targeted because these are specifically looking for workout. So now that I've really looked at this from a first level point of view, right? What I want to do is I want to see if what keywords are the best type of keywords I can go after. Usually I see this from a volume point of view because, you know, ideally you want to select, there's a few metrics that we look at, but ideally you want to attract more people as much as possible, and volume is the first indication of how much people are actually searching for that. So you can see fitness classes in Singapore. Already I'm liking this keyword. And then again, you just want to take a look at this fitness classes, exercise classes in Singapore, fitness first. So I will ignore this. I will take into consideration this, and I would ignore all of this. Okay, and I'll basically focus on this. Okay, the first three. Okay, so now that I've shortlisted, so basically I've looked at all of the keywords that is showing up for this specific page. I've eliminated those terms that I think it's not relevant, and I've selected those terms that I think will be highly relevant, right? So I'm down to 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. The next thing I want to look at is in terms of the intention for this keyword and whether does that intention match the page's intention. So earlier on, when I looked at this page, this is more like a generic kind of category where it's covering exercise or workout classes, right? So if I were to look at this fitness classes in Singapore, okay, does the intention matches the page? Meaning to say, if a person searches for fitness classes in Singapore and they were to land on this page, will they get what they are looking for? Okay, and the answer is yes, right? Because people who are looking for fitness classes in Singapore, they are looking for fitness classes. Unlike if they are looking for Zumba classes, then what they want to do is they want to land on a page that only talks about Zumba classes. So as you can see here, this is a generic one. So this matches the intent. Fitness classes, okay. So fitness classes, they could also be relevant because you know, when people are looking for fitness classes, they are looking for fitness classes as a generic kind of generic classes, right? And then the next one will be exercise classes in Singapore. So again, essentially they all matches the searches in the page's intent, and that's why it's important, because some of the times if you see like Zumba classes, they have the most volume, and if you were to select this, it doesn't matter if your page ranks for this keyword, because end of the day, it's not matching what users are looking for. And even though if your page is ranking for a very high search volume, it doesn't really matter, because what happens is your ranking is not going to stay there for long, because eventually people will start to click off from your website, and that kind of feeds back into Google's algorithm, and then it's not going to help, because even if you are ranking on the first 3 position, and people click on your site, they are looking for Zumba classes where your page is a lot about all the different generic classes. They're not going to find what they want. They're going to click back, and if this keep happening, this will, this will see your rankings fluctuate. Usually tends to trend downwards, and that's why page intention is very important. So now that we have mapped this 3, right? Okay. Now that we have mapped, now that we have know that these three keywords matches the page's intent. Okay, the next thing what we want to look at is the few different metrics to decide which one do we want to select, because with regards to keyword mapping, we want to map one primary keyword. If there's only one keyword that we can select, what is that one keyword? Ultimately, we are looking for that one keyword. Okay, and then obviously the rest that doesn't make it to the one keyword, we can use it as a secondary keyword depending on whether if it's relevant or not, because if it's relevant, we can include it in our secondary keyword. If not, then we can forego it. Okay, so now that I've looked at the volume, right, and the next thing I want to look at is the keyword difficulty and the cost per click. So ideally, these are also metrics that tells you certain stuff. Okay, so keyword difficulty, obviously is whether if it's difficult for you to rank for that keyword. So you can see the keyword difficulty for these 3 are kind of the same. So this doesn't really matter to me, because it seems like they are it doesn't matter the difficulty. Now if this fitness classes, okay, have a difficulty of 50, okay, and the other 2 have a difficulty of 5 and 3, right? Then that is where I will relook into whether this page is the best for this specific keyword. Okay, and the reason why is because if the domain authority, okay, let's see where the domain authority is at. Okay, so the site authority is at a 43. So if this keyword difficulty is at a 70 or a 80, okay, so even though this have higher search volume, I might consider looking at these two different keywords instead. Okay, and that's why it's very good for you to look at the matrix overall to kind of decide, okay, so these three keywords are important, but which one based off on this website's portfolio is the most easiest to rank for? Because we can map this keyword to this page, but if the keyword difficulty is at an 80, then it's going to be an uphill battle, right? So and the reason why is because obviously the competitors you are going up against with have a lot more resources. Their domain is a lot more authoritative. So with this being said, you can see the keyword difficulty is kind of the same, so we don't have to worry about that. The next thing I'll look at is in terms of the cost per click. So you can see again, we don't have any outliers here. So this is the clear winner here. Okay, it has a higher search volume, it has a low difficulty as compared to the rest of them, it has a high cost per click. So before this video, I've mentioned to look at these few different metrics. Okay, and the reason why we look at this is because, for example, for cost per click, advertisers are paying for this keyword on Google AdWords, and the reason why they are paying for this is because chances are when they bid for this keyword, it gets them the ROI they are looking for in terms of whether people are signing up for their courses and things like that. Because Google AdWords work as on a bidding platform basis, so obviously the more people bid for a keyword, the more demand it is, and it has. And the reason why there has more demand is because it's getting these keywords are very juicy in a way, right? So this cost per click is at 250 as compared to this 3. So this is a clear-cut winner. So alternatively, right, what happens is if let's say this cost per click is at a 0 and this cost per click is at a $2.50, okay, then what I would do is I might go for this keyword instead. And the reason why is because sometimes if a cost per click is 0, chances are this keyword, even though it has a high volume, it could be an informational piece of content. And usually for informational piece of content, because they are usually in the middle of the funnel, and again, if you're not sure what funnel I'm talking about, watch my previous video where I explain the different buyer journey. Okay, but chances are if they don't have a cost per click, okay, let's say for example, Singapore classes or even outdoor workout Singapore, right, doesn't have a cost per click. Chances are this type of keywords, outdoor workout in Singapore, they will probably be people looking for outdoor workout in Singapore where they want to work out outdoors, and they might be looking for stuff to do outdoors and stuff like that, which are not the people that are going to sign up for classes. Okay, and this is only a metaphor because just by looking at this cost per click, right? And what you need to do is you then need to go in to SERPs and kind of analyze whether that's true or not. But this gives you a rough idea of why certain keywords are more valuable. Okay, so just based off on looking at the volume, based off on looking at the KD, based off on looking at the cost per click, and based off on the page's intent mapping to the searcher's intent, this is the keyword that I will be mapping for this specific page. Okay, now the next two keywords, for example, fitness classes and fitness classes Singapore, what I can do is I can then select these two as a secondary keyword. Okay, so what happens is usually I record all of this down in an Excel sheet, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that there's a primary keyword. Okay, so in this case it's fitness classes in Singapore. Okay, and I want to have a few secondary keywords that make sense. Okay, so fitness classes. Okay, I don't have to have it in I don't have to list it down here. Okay, and I'll tell you the reason why. Okay, so my secondary keywords, okay, is exercise classes Singapore. Okay, and the reason why I'm not listing down fitness classes is because you can see the primary keyword already has fitness classes. Okay, which means to say whatever that I'm going to do, I will be targeting these fitness classes already. okay, because my primary keyword already involves the secondary keyword. Okay, and then what I can do next is I can scroll down and see whether if there is any ones that will probably make sense. So you can see workout classes in Singapore, and one, I'll give you another tip. Okay, what you want to do, right, is you want to look at the pages that are doing well to see if the page that is ranking for this keyword, are they ranking for this keyword as well. Okay, so with a software like Ahrefs, it's going to allow you to find things more easily. So you can see I'm going to look at some of the pages that are ranking well here. So honeycombers, hype and stuff, timeout, class pass, right? And then what I want to do is I want to look at this. So you can see honeycombers, timeout, hype and stuff. So the pages that are ranking for these keywords are also ranking for these keywords, which means to say that I can go after this keyword as a secondary keyword as well. Okay, and what I'm looking for secondary keywords are basically keywords that I am not that is not duplicated. So you can see fitness classes in Singapore, exercise classes is a term that is not anywhere here, and you can see workout classes, right? So this workout classes, I can also include them as a secondary keyword because I don't have workout anywhere here. Okay, and then what I can do is I can go down this list, group exercise, okay, and I can take a look to see if this is relevant. Okay, and again, I'm looking at the top few competitors here. Okay, you can see again, honeycombers, class pass, meetup, right? So this, I can also include it under a secondary keyword. Now, the reason why I don't include a lot of secondary keywords, usually I stop at around 2 to 3, is because, I don't want, if you have too many secondary keywords, it's going to dilute the focus of that page. The reason why I want to map this specific page to this primary keyword is because I want Google to know everything that I'm talking about on that page. It's about fitness classes in Singapore. I want this to be the most relevant. Now, if I were to go in and insert a lot of secondary keywords, I don't want to dilute it and make Google look at other secondary keywords as compared to just them looking at this keyword, because I want this page to show up for this variation of keyword. And that's why I don't like to include a lot of secondary keywords within there. Okay, and even though sometimes I have secondary keywords in there, remember the main focus over here is just to map one keyword, one main keyword to this specific page. So even though I have secondary keywords, it's a good way for me to put this and list them down as options. So when I'm doing my on-page and other optimization, I'm looking at what other keywords I can put it in there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I will need to put them in there, because like I mentioned, my main focus is this keyword over here. Okay, so as secondary keywords, I'm going to list them down over here, and this is essentially what I would do to see the kind of pages that to see the kind of keywords my existing pages are ranking for. And you can do that for all of the pages that you have on your site, and this will take a little bit of time, but this is why it works, right? Because ideally what you're trying to do is you're trying to map out the most important keyword for that specific page. Now, if you look at this, for example, okay, you can see fitness classes and fitness classes in Singapore. What is happening is Google is looking at this page and is deciding that this page is more relevant, right? So if you were to select this page, what happens is you're missing out on this search term, which has more volume, which means to say chances of you getting more visitors or more customers will be higher, right? And you can see if we only select this keyword, okay, will we still get traffic? Yes, we do. But if we were to map this keyword to this page, okay, and because this keyword has the same page intent, the same keyword difficulty, and the same cost per click, there's no reason why we shouldn't be going after this keyword instead. Okay, so, and if you're wondering, hey, Jaden, what's the difference between optimizing for this keyword and this keyword? There is a very, very big difference. Okay, so just one example, which I'm going to cover, in the on-page section, is if you look at this page title right now, it says pure fitness, right? It doesn't even have the main keyword here. So if you're optimizing, if the keyword that you've selected is fitness classes, what you're going to do is you're going to optimize your page titles, your URLs, your header ones and all that for fitness classes only, and you're missing out this one term here. And this one term, just by adding in this one term, gets you more exposure, right? So these are the few things that you want to think about. So this is how you actually decide and look at your pages and decide what pages you have already and decide what keywords you're going to map to this specific page. So this is keyword research for existing pages. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about keyword research if you're starting from scratch, meaning to say you don't have data that you're working with, or you are starting a website from scratch, or you're about to, or you have just started a website from scratch, and you are doing keyword research, how you should go about doing it. Some of the elements will be the same in terms of mapping searches intention to the page intention, looking at the different matrix that we are looking at, volume, KD, CPC, and I'm going to show you behind the scenes of how we actually do it with some methods, right? So with that being said, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoy this, and if you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe, so whenever I go live or publish a new video, you'll be notified. All right, with that being said, that's all. Thanks so much for watching. Till then, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you around. Cheers.